everyone, and welcome to Treasures and Trinkets. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be wire wrapping a tumblestone, and to do that we're going to use this 28 gauge copper wire. We're going to use this 18 gauge copper wire, and you will need any triangular tumblestone of your fancy. I will be using this aventurine one here. Just as an example, I've got my tray out just to show you how easy it is to come across a triangular style of tumblestone. It was actually one of the most common shapes to come across. So here the first thing I'm going to do is take a look and see how big my tumblestone is, just to try and get a gauge on how much wire I will need. So I'm going to take my 18 gauge first of all, and I'm going to measure out about 10 inches, 2 pieces of 10 inches. Pair of my pliers, taking my nylon jaw pliers and just straightening out these two pliers, just straightening out these two wires so I have a nice smooth base to work with. Now it's time to take my 28 gauge, and I'm not going to measure this out because I am going to work straight off the reel for the entire project. If you don't like to work straight off the reel, then I would recommend only working in amounts that you can handle and adding wire as you go. But I prefer to work straight off the reel anytime that I can. So here I have come to the middle of my wires, and I have anchored onto one wire with 2 turns of the 28 gauge, and now I'm going to join both the wires together with 2 turns around both 18 gauge wires. Then I'm going to come up between those two because I'm going to start a basket weave for my bale. And I'm going to do 4 turns there. Now we have done the bottom wire 4 times, we are going to do the top wire 4 times. We are coming up between the two and going over the top wire. So now we have wrapped the top 4 times, it is time to spread these wires a little bit because we're making a bail. We don't want to split it too much, just for a nice design. We're going to come up between those two wires again and wrap the bottom 4 wires. The bottom wire 4 times again. And then come up between the 2 wires again. And go over the top wire 4 times and continue in this fashion. When you get to this point in your work, you just want to squish your wires together a little bit to make them parallel for about 5 bars or crosses, if you will, just to create that top round bend in our bail. When you're happy with the length of the curve that you've created, come down to the end and start to bend the wires in together so they'll meet again, so you can finish off your bail like this, and then just carry on with the pattern again all the way down. I'll meet you back at the end. Now that I've gone down the entire length, I'm going to bring in my looping pliers, and I'm just going to use one of the circles on here to put my bend in and make my bail. Here I'm bending the wires just a little bit outwards, just to encourage them to meet better in the middle. And then I'm going to use this tail end right here, and I'm going to weave it in and out of these wires to create a nice sturdy connection. Now that we have our bail made and connected at the base, bring your wire, your 28 gauge, out to one side. Bring the back wires out either side of the front wires. The front wires are going to be our center and the back wires are going to be our sides. And you want to line up your tumblestone with your wires and see how it's going to sit. And what I want you to do is go away and continue our basket weave between all of these all the way down, but instead we're going to do just 2 turns on each wire. After a couple of goes, you want to take your stone and look at the back and see where you want to weave to so you can get a nice bend, and I want you to weave down to this point, down to about here. Once you've done that, I want you to come back, turn your work over, check it, it's all perfect, lovely, and now we're going to bend the wires around our stone, keeping pressed firmly on our tumblestone to keep it in place, and bend those wires the way you would like them to sit so that they are going to grip your stone once we have woven them all together. Once you have the shape you like and it's all going to sit nicely, you can take your stone away again and continue the weave. When you have gotten to the bottom of the basket weave, you want to pop your stone in now. This is where we're going to weave our stone in, and it's going to become nice and sturdily trapped. And you just want to fiddle with your 18 gauge wires until it nicely molds to the shape of your stone, and then again continue your weave. So on this side, I'm very happy with the length I've gone up for this side, so I'm going to cut that off right there, and I'm going to do a very tight spiral right there. And then when I have finished this tight spiral, I'm going to take the smooth side of my pliers and push down on that spiral so it lays nice and flat against the stone. I do apologise, I realised I disappeared halfway off the screen, but I decided on the other side I was also quite happy with that length, so I trimmed off the excess, left myself enough for a small tight spiral, and then again when I finish that lovely small tight spiral, I will go in with the smooth side of my pliers and really push that spiral into the stone. So carefully, so I don't mar my wires, but so that it really hugs the stone. Now I'm happy with the overall middle height of it. I'm going to come in and trim the outside wire at the 28 gauge first, because I have already anchored that, and now I'm going to come in and trim the ends to leave myself again enough for small tight spirals. Again, I'm sorry I'm all the way off over there, I don't realise until in a moment, but I'm just making lovely tight neat little spirals, and then I'm going in with the smooth flat side of my pliers and pushing down firmly but gently. And now you just want to take the smooth part of your pliers and give it a good press down all the way around your stone. And if you give that a good shake, that stone's not going anywhere. And there's our pendant. And I like to call this a net style pendant. If you would like to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you liked this style of video as something a little bit different. Thank you, bye.